Picture this. It is 2 a.m. You wake up and need the bathroom. You have done this 1,000 times. You know the way. You get up in the dark, take 3 steps, and your foot catches the edge of the rug. When you start to fall, you instinctively reach for support. What is within reach can mean the difference between a close call and a serious injury. For too many seniors, the answer is nothing. And what starts as a stumble in a dark hallway becomes the event that changes everything. The hospital visit, the family conversation, the loss of independence that nobody was ready for. Last year, over 36,000 Americans died from a fall inside their own home. Not outside, not in a parking lot, not on an icy pavement. Inside their own home, on the stairs, in the kitchen, in the bathroom at 2 in the morning. And this is the part that worries me most. Most of those falls were preventable. Not with surgery, not with medication, not with moving into a care facility, but with 8 simple changes that cost less than a tank of gas. Changes that most people never make. Not because they cannot, but because nobody ever told them exactly what to do. That is what today is about. Most seniors who end up in assisted living facilities or nursing homes do not go there because of their health. They go there because of their home. A house that was built for a different version of them, a bathroom with no grab bars, a bedroom upstairs with a staircase that has become a daily gamble, a front step that is 3 inches too tall and entirely unforgiving on a wet morning. The home becomes the problem, and because nobody fixed the home, the conclusion was that the person needed to move. Here is what I want you to know before this video goes any further. Staying in your own home, the place where your life happened, where your things are, where you know every corner and every creak in the floor, is not just a preference, it is protective. Study after study has found that seniors who stay in their own homes, in their communities, among their people, have better mental health, better physical health, and longer lives than those who move into institutional settings unnecessarily. Your home can be made safe. It probably needs less changing than you think. And the 8 modifications we are going through today are the ones that make the biggest difference. Not the expensive ones, not the dramatic renovations, but the specific, practical changes that have kept hundreds of thousands of seniors independent for years longer than they would have been without them. One of these, number 6, is something almost nobody thinks of as a safety modification at all. Most people think of it as a comfort thing, but it has been shown to reduce falls in the home by a genuinely significant margin. We will get there. Let us begin. Welcome back. If you are watching this for yourself, if you are living alone or thinking ahead about how to stay in your home as long as possible, this video is going to give you a concrete plan, not vague suggestions, not a general overview. Specific things you can do, most of which cost very little, some of which you can do yourself this weekend. If you are watching this for a parent or a grandparent, someone you love whose home you have started to quietly worry about, I hope this gives you something useful to bring to that conversation. Something specific rather than the general worry that usually drives those talks. We are going through 8 modifications. I will tell you what each one is, why it matters for your body, specifically as you get older, how much it typically costs, and whether it is something you can do yourself or something worth calling a professional for. Let us start with a story about Dorothy. Dorothy's story. Dorothy is 71. You may remember her from some of our earlier videos. She lives in the house she and her late husband bought in 1987. 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom upstairs, front porch with 2 steps up from the driveway. About a year and a half ago, Dorothy slipped in her bathroom. She did not fall badly. She caught herself on the edge of the sink, but it scared her. Her heart was going hard for 20 minutes afterward, and she sat on the edge of the tub thinking, what if I had not caught myself? What if there had been nothing there to grab? She called her daughter that evening and they had the conversation. The one where her daughter gently mentioned that maybe the house was getting to be a lot to manage. Dorothy did not want to hear it, but she also could not stop thinking about that moment in the bathroom. 3 weeks later, Dorothy's daughter came to visit, and they spent a Saturday afternoon going through the house together. They made a list. They fixed 8 things. That was 18 months ago. Dorothy has not had a single fall or a single near miss since. More than that, she told me she feels more confident in her own home than she has in years. Not less, more. Because the things that were quietly frightening her are gone. She is still in her house. She plans to stay there. What she and her daughter found on that Saturday is what we are walking through today. Why the home matters more than most people realize. Before we get into the 8 modifications, I want to make one thing clear because I think it changes how seriously people take this. Falls are the leading cause of injury-related death in adults over 65 in the United States. Not car accidents, not illness, falls. And here's the part that should be on a billboard somewhere. About 60% of all falls in seniors happen at home, not on icy pavements, not in unfamiliar places. In the house the person knows better than anywhere else on earth. They happen in the bathroom, on the stairs, in the hallway at night when someone gets up for the bathroom and does not turn on a light because they have done this 1,000 times and they know the way. They happen because houses built for healthy, mobile adults in their 40s and 50s have not been adjusted for the same person 30 years later. A person whose balance is a little less steady, whose reaction time is a little slower, whose grip is not quite what it was, who takes longer to recover when something unexpected happens under their foot. The 8 changes we are about to go through are not about making a house look like a care facility. They are about making a house actually match the person living in it. That is all, and most of them are so unobtrusive that visitors would never notice they were there. Modification 1. Grab bars in the bathroom. The most important 15 minutes you will spend this year. The bathroom is where the majority of falls in the home happen, and the reason is not complicated. You are on a wet, hard surface, often barefoot, going through movements, stepping over a tub edge, lowering yourself onto a toilet, standing up from it. That requires balance and lower body strength that may have changed since you last thought about it. Dorothy's near miss happened in the bathroom. This was the first thing they fixed. Grab bars, not towel rails. Towel rails are not designed to hold body weight, and pulling on one in a moment of imbalance can pull it right out of the wall and make things considerably worse. Actual grab bars rated to hold 250 pounds or more, properly anchored into wall studs. There are 3 places in the bathroom that matter most. Next to the toilet, getting up from a low seat is one of the hardest movements for older adults. It requires significant quad and hip strength, and it is done multiple times every day. A horizontal grab bar mounted on the wall beside the toilet gives you something to push against, which dramatically reduces both the effort and the risk. Some people prefer a fold-down bar that swings out from the wall when needed and folds flush when not. These work well and do not dominate the space. Inside the shower or tub, a vertical bar near the entrance helps with the step in and step out, the moment of highest fall risk in the shower. A horizontal bar on the far wall helps with balance while standing. If you have a walk-in shower, a single L-shaped bar often handles both, next to the tub if you still use one. Getting in and out of a bathtub is one of the most physically demanding movements in most people's daily routines. A bar mounted on the wall beside the tub makes an enormous difference. The cost of grab bars themselves is low. Good ones run between $20 and $60 each. Professional installation by a handyman costs somewhere between $50 and $150 per bar. If you or someone you know is comfortable with a stud finder and a drill, this is genuinely a DIY. There are good installation guides available, and the main thing is anchoring into studs, not just drywall. Dorothy had 3 bars installed. She told her daughter it felt like the most sensible thing they had ever done together. "I should have done it 10 years ago," she said. "I just never thought about it." Modification 2. A shower seat or bench. It is not about needing to sit down. It is about having the option. A shower seat is one of those things that people resist more than almost anything else on this list. It feels like an admission of something, like acknowledging that standing in the shower has become a problem. But here's the thing. Most people who have a shower seat installed do not use it because they cannot stand. They use it because standing in a hot shower for 10 or 15 minutes is simply tiring, and having the option to sit makes the shower more relaxing and less rushed. The shower is a risky place, not because anything dramatic is happening there, But because of the cumulative factors, the steam, the heat, the wet floor, the closed eyes while washing hair, the slight lightheadedness that can come from standing in hot water, having a bench removes almost all of that risk in one simple addition. There are two main options: a built-in teak or plastic fold-down seat mounted to the wall, which folds flat when not in use and adds nothing to the visual footprint of the bathroom, and a freestanding shower chair, which requires no installation at all, costs around $20 to $40, and can be moved or stored whenever you want. For someone who is not ready to commit to a permanent installation, the freestanding chair is a genuinely excellent starting point. If you have a bathtub rather than a walk-in shower, a transfer bench. A bench that sits half inside and half outside the tub allows you to sit down on the outside edge and swing your legs over, rather than stepping over the tub wall. This is one of the most effective fall prevention tools available for seniors who are not ready to convert their tub to a walk-in shower. Modification 3. Non-slip surfaces throughout the home. The danger you are literally walking over every day. This one is less glamorous than grab bars, but it is just as important. Maybe more. Non-slip surfaces. And I am not just talking about the bathroom mat, though that is part of it. Start with the bathroom. A non-slip mat inside the shower or tub, the kind with suction cups on the bottom, is about $8 and takes 30 seconds to place. A bath mat outside the tub that has a non-slip rubber backing, not just a decorative rug that slides on the tile floor. Dorothy had a beautiful woven rug in her bathroom that was sitting on top of a tile floor with nothing holding it in place. That rug was a trap. They replaced it with one that does not move. Now think about the rest of the house. Area rugs throughout the home are one of the leading causes of trips and falls for seniors. Not because the rugs are unusual or badly placed, but because rug edges catch feet, rug corners curl up, and rugs slide on hardwood and tile floors. The fix is simple. Either remove the rugs that are not necessary or secure every remaining rug with double-sided carpet tape or a non-slip rug pad underneath. Rug pads cost around $15 to $25 for a standard-size rug and are available at any hardware store. Pay particular attention to the transition points between different flooring types. The strip between the hallway carpet and the kitchen tile, for example. These small ridges are easy to catch a foot on, especially in low light or when walking without full attention. Outdoor steps deserve attention too. A strip of non-slip adhesive tape along the edge of each step, the kind used on industrial staircases, costs almost nothing and dramatically improves grip on wet or frosty mornings. Modification 4. Better lighting throughout the home. Most night falls are preventable with a $7 night light. Here is a question. If you got up at 2 a.m. to use the bathroom tonight, how well lit is the path you would walk? For most seniors, the answer is not well lit at all. The reasoning is usually some combination of not wanting to wake a partner, not wanting to disturb sleep with bright light, and the comfortable familiarity of knowing the way. But here is the physiological reality. After 60, the eyes take significantly longer to adjust from darkness to light and back again. And balance depends heavily on visual input. Your eyes constantly send information to your brain about your position and what is around you. In the dark, that information disappears, and balance becomes substantially less reliable. Most nighttime falls happen on a path the person has walked 1,000 times. Not because they did not know the way, because their feet caught something they could not see. The solution does not have to be bright overhead lights that blast on in the middle of the night. Motion-activated nightlights, the ones that plug directly into wall outlets and light up automatically when they sense movement, are perfect for this. They are dim enough not to destroy night vision or wake the household, and bright enough to show the floor, the door frames, and the edges of furniture. Put them in every room on the path from the bedroom to the bathroom. One in the bedroom itself, near the bed. One in the hallway. One in the bathroom. Total cost, somewhere between $15 and $30 for a pack of them. Also look at the main lighting in rooms you spend time in during the day. With age, significantly more light is needed to see as well as a younger person does in the same room. The yellowing of the eye's lens, Something we also discussed in our sleep video, filters out light and reduces contrast. Increasing the wattage or adding additional lamps in the main living spaces reduces eye strain and makes it easier to spot trip hazards before walking through them. Dorothy added nightlights on every path in her house and replaced 2 dim bedside lamps with brighter ones. Her daughter told her it was the cheapest thing they did that weekend and possibly the most impactful. Modification 5. Stair Safety Improvements. If you have stairs, this section is the most important one for you. Stairs are the single most dangerous structural feature in most senior homes, and a large number of older houses have them in unavoidable locations. Between the bedroom and the bathroom, between the living space and the front door, between the garage and the kitchen. There are 3 things that make stairs significantly safer, none of which require structural renovation. Handrails on both sides. Most staircases have a handrail on one side only. If you need to grab that rail on the way down and your balance takes you toward the other side, there is nothing there. Installing a second handrail on the opposite wall is not a major project. It requires a few brackets and a length of rail, and it doubles the safety of the staircase immediately. Make sure existing handrails are firmly anchored. Grab one and give it a genuine pull. If it moves at all, it needs to be reinforced before you trust it with your weight. Stair treads, non-slip adhesive treads on each step, particularly wooden stairs which can be slippery in socks. Add grip without changing the look of the staircase dramatically. They are inexpensive and take an afternoon to apply. Lighting on the staircase itself. Not just a light at the top and bottom, but light that illuminates each step individually. A simple plug-in LED strip along the base of the wall beside the staircase, motion activated, can do this without any electrical work. For seniors who are finding stairs genuinely difficult, painful knees, significant balance concerns, shortness of breath, the longer-term conversation worth having is whether a stair lift is appropriate. They are expensive, typically between $3,000 and $6,000 for a straight staircase. But many families find them to be one of the most worthwhile investments in a senior's home because they remove the staircase as a threat entirely. Local aging and disability agencies sometimes have information about assistance programs or low-cost loans for this kind of modification. We are just past halfway through, and the next 3 modifications are the ones that surprise people most. Not because they are complicated, none of them are, but because most people would never have thought of them as safety changes at all. Modification 6 especially. Most people think of it as a convenience feature, a comfort thing, something you add to a house to make it nicer, but it may reduce the risk of a serious fall more than anything else on this list. Stay with me. Modification 6. Raising furniture height. The one thing almost nobody thinks of as a fall prevention tool. Here it is. Raising the height of your furniture. Specifically, your bed, your favorite chair or sofa, and your toilet seat. Here is why this matters so much. The single most dangerous moment in any sit-to-stand movement, getting up from a chair, getting up from the toilet, getting out of bed, is the transition point right at the beginning when the body shifts from sitting to standing and requires a burst of lower body strength and balance to complete the movement safely. The lower the surface, the more strength and balance that transition requires. And the more strength and balance it requires, the higher the fall risk when that strength or balance is not quite sufficient on any given morning. Raising furniture height reduces the degree of difficulty of that transition. It may seem like a small change, but it can make a real difference in safety and confidence. The toilet. A raised toilet seat, the kind that fits over your existing toilet, adds 3 to 4 inches of height and reduces the effort of sitting down and standing up significantly. They cost between $20 and $60, require no installation whatsoever, and are available at any pharmacy or medical supply store. This is one of the most impactful and most overlooked modifications available. My favorite chair. Furniture risers, blocks that go under the legs of a chair or sofa, can raise the seat height by 2 to 4 inches, without changing anything about the chair itself. They are inexpensive, require no tools, and can be removed whenever you want. Alternatively, choosing a firmer chair with a slightly higher seat when replacing furniture is worth considering. The bed. Bed risers raise the height of the bed frame, making it easier to sit on the edge of the bed and to stand from it. The ideal bed height for a senior is roughly the height where, sitting on the edge, the feet rest flat on the floor and the knees are at a comfortable angle. Not so low that standing requires a push-up, not so high that the feet dangle. Dorothy's daughter noticed that Dorothy's sofa was extremely low and soft, the kind you sink into and then struggle to get out of. She found that Dorothy had been avoiding sitting there for months and had quietly moved to a harder dining chair to avoid the effort. They added risers and a firm seat cushion. Dorothy sat on her sofa for the first time in a long while and said, "This is better than it was before." Modification 7. Reorganizing storage and daily items. Getting rid of the reason to climb and stretch. This one costs nothing at all, not a cent. It just requires about an hour of walking through your own kitchen and home with honest eyes. The goal is simple. Everything you use daily or weekly should be stored between hip height and shoulder height. Reachable without climbing, reachable without bending deeply, reachable without reaching overhead and shifting your balance upward. Look at your kitchen. Are the glasses in a high cabinet that requires you to reach above your head? Are the heavy pots stored in a low cabinet that requires you to bend down and haul them out? Is the toaster on a counter where you have to lean across something else to reach it? Every overhead reach and every deep bend is a balance challenge. They are the kind of movement that catches people off guard. Not dramatic falls, but the subtle tip that turns into a lurch that turns into a grab for something that was not strong enough to take the weight. Move the things you use every day to the accessible middle zone. Put things you rarely use in the high and low spaces. Get a sturdy step stool, one with a handle, not just a flat step, for the occasional time something higher is needed. Never use a chair or a regular step stool without a handle to reach something above your head. The same principle applies in the bathroom. Daily medications, toiletries, and towels at an easily accessible height. In the bedroom, the things you reach for first thing in the morning and last thing at night should not require you to navigate a dark room or reach in an uncomfortable direction. Harold reorganized his kitchen over a single morning and told his daughter he had no idea how many times a week he had been climbing onto his tiptoes to reach the glasses he used every single day. "It sounds ridiculous now," he said. "Why did I never just move them?" Modification 8. The medical alert system. Not because you expect to fall, because it means you never have to wait alone if you do. The 8th modification is different from the others on this list. It is not a change to the house. It is a change to the safety net around the person inside the house. A medical alert system, sometimes called a personal emergency response system. The wearable button on a lanyard or a wristband that, when pressed, connects you immediately to a monitoring center that can contact emergency services, a family member, or a neighbor on your behalf. The research on medical alert systems and their impact on senior health outcomes is genuinely striking. It is not primarily the falls they help with directly. It is the time spent on the floor after a fall waiting for help. The injury from a fall is often not catastrophic on its own. A bruised hip, a cut, a broken wrist. Serious and painful, but in many cases survivable and recoverable with prompt medical attention. What turns a survivable fall into a catastrophic one is lying on the floor for hours, sometimes for an entire night. Unable to reach a phone, unable to call for help, the body gradually going into shock, muscle damage beginning to occur from prolonged time on a hard floor. This is one of the most common ways seniors who live alone suffer permanent disability after a fall that might otherwise have been fully recoverable. A medical alert button eliminates that risk. It means that the moment something goes wrong, help is minutes away rather than hours. It means the difference between a bad day and a turning point. The hesitation most seniors have about these systems is understandable. It feels like admitting vulnerability. It feels like something for people who are in a much worse situation than you are. Dorothy resisted it for a full year after her near miss in the bathroom. Her daughter did not push. She just mentioned it occasionally and left the brochure on the counter. Then one morning, Dorothy was carrying a laundry basket down the hallway and stumbled. She did not fall, but she stumbled badly, and in the second that she scrambled to catch herself, she thought, if I had gone down just now, my phone is in the kitchen. She ordered the system that afternoon. I wear it every day, she said. I barely notice it anymore, but I sleep better knowing it is there. And my kids sleep better too. Basic medical alert systems start at around $20 to $30 a month for the monitoring service, with minimal or no equipment costs. Many are now sophisticated enough to detect falls automatically without the button being pressed, and some are built into smartwatches that look no different from any other watch. It is worth researching 2 or 3 options and finding one that fits your comfort level and your budget. ARP has a well-reviewed comparison guide that is a good starting point. Putting it all together, here are the 8 modifications together in order of what most people should tackle first. 1. Grab bars in the bathroom, highest priority, highest fall risk area, low cost, high impact. 2. A shower seat or bench removes the fatigue and risk of prolonged standing in the shower, especially important if you have balance concerns or tire easily. 3. Non-slip surfaces throughout the home. Secure or remove sliding rugs, mat inside the shower, adhesive strips on outdoor steps. Inexpensive and immediate. 4. Better lighting throughout. Motion-activated night lights on every path you walk in the dark. Better bulbs in the main living spaces. Costs almost nothing. 5. Stair safety improvements, handrails on both sides, non-slip treads, lighting on the stairs themselves. Consider a stair lift if stairs are genuinely becoming a daily difficulty. 6. Raising furniture height, raised toilet seat, bed risers, furniture risers under chairs and sofas. Reduces the effort and risk of every sit-to-stand movement in the day. 7. Reorganizing storage. Everything used daily between hip and shoulder height. A handled step stool for anything higher. No chairs used as ladders. 8. A medical alert system. The safety net that means a fall, if one happens, is a bad day rather than a catastrophe. You do not have to do all 8 this weekend. Start with 1. Start with the one thing you've been telling yourself you should change for a while. What this actually means. Dorothy is still in her house. 18 months after that Saturday afternoon with her daughter. She wakes up there every morning, makes her tea in her kitchen, walks out to her garden, sleeps in the bedroom where she has slept for 37 years. That is not nothing. That is everything. The research on what staying home means for older adults is consistent and clear. Familiar surroundings, familiar routines, the ability to do things your own way in your own time. These things support mental health, physical health, and longevity in ways that are genuinely measurable. The modifications we covered today are not about making a house look like a care facility. They are about making a house actually safe for the person who lives in it. Most of them are invisible to anyone who visits. None of them change the character of the home. All of them change the odds. Your home has known you for decades. It deserves a few afternoons of attention in return. Here is what I want you to remember. If you watch this video until the end, you now know more about senior home safety than many people who wait until after a fall or accident happens. Don't just put these ideas on a list for later. Choose one change today. Maybe it's grab bars, better lighting, or a safer bathroom setup. Just start with one. And if you're watching this for a parent or grandparent, take this list with you the next time you visit. Make these changes together, not because something is wrong, but because you care and want to keep them safe and independent. If this video helped you, please hit the like button. It helps more people find this information. Subscribe for more simple, practical tips for seniors and their families. And let me know in the comments section, have you made any of these home safety changes? Is there one you still need to do? I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, check your bathroom first. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you next week.